What is going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. Lots to talk about today. We're talking Ascended Heroes. We're talking about everything that's increasing in price in the market. As always, Destined Rivals is doing some crazy things. This is going to be a great episode. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. So the Pokemon market has changed a lot. Despite doing this for many years, almost a decade now, I've seen a lot of market cycles. I've seen a lot of hype cycles. I've seen a lot of times where product just sits and it sells for way below retail at heavily discounted prices because the big box stores have stock sat around and they're just trying to liquidate, get that money, and we'll just fire sell product. I've seen a lot of that, but the market really has changed a lot. And the reason why I can say that comfortably is because let's take a step back for a second and just look at exactly what's going on with sealed product at the moment. You can basically buy any single set of any era in Pokemon right now, of the modern era. So like XY evolutions onwards. So all of Sword and Shield, all of Scarlet and Violet, all of ME. Okay. You can buy anything, any sealed product basically, for whatever the market price is. So not even trying to get in at the best lowest price, not even trying to get in at retail MSRP. You can pretty much buy any set for a heavily inflated secondary market price. Hold it for a little bit, not even a long amount of time. Hold it for a very short amount of time and still make money on that. And there's not been that many times over the 10 years that has been the case, that you could literally pick anything. Yes, there has been times where the best in class will continue to perform well and will continue to keep chunking up their in price. One of the main sets that comes to mind is Evolving Skies. Even on this channel a couple of years ago, you know, it wasn't uncommon to see my thumbnails where it's Evolving Skies is up another 20% this week. Oh, it's up another 10% this week. And it was just compounding and going crazy and crazy. That's not a new thing. Okay. What is a new thing is literally A, being able to buy anything and make money, and B, being able to do it at any price point entry and do it in a short amount of time as well. That's where things have really gone crazy. And you can tell that that hasn't been a thing for a super long amount of time by the way that other people are misreading the market. Okay, you're having a lot of people thinking that everything's going to crash back down to, you know, MSRP prices. We've been hearing that a lot over the last year with Scarlet and Violet stuff. We've been hearing it now with Mega Evolution. But we're not seeing that in the data. We're seeing people buy in to brand new booster boxes. A prime example of that is like Phantasmal Flames. You're seeing people buy in at $200, $220 plus, way over MSRP, and yet the price keeps going up. Now, how is it that so many people are getting that wrong and can't see that that's what's going to happen? Because we're entering a new stage in the market that feels a bit unfamiliar, where everything you touch turns to gold. Now, that is the classic description of a bubble that will pop at some point. But Pokemon's a little bit different. Pokemon's a little bit different in the fact that the products you're investing in is changing. Okay. I see the bubble bursting on newer sets that are yet to come out, perhaps Perfect Order. Me personally, though, I think it's going to be further down the line once we leave the Mega Evolution era and we start getting a base set of Generation 10. This stuff, particularly stuff that's been out for a little while now, the earlier Scarlet and Violet stuff, definitely the Sword and Shield stuff, I don't see it crashing back down. I just don't see it ever happening. I just see it continuing to run up in price. Even some of the later best-in-class Scarlet and Violet stuff, like your Destined Rivals, your Prismatic Evolutions, I think you can buy into that now, literally, for 10% over secondary market price now, just to secure a nice minty box. And you don't even have to wait that long and it's going to go up in price quite significantly. And it never used to be like that. It really didn't. It like I said, with best in class, we've had times in hype cycles where, yeah, it will just continue to chunk up in price. But to be able to buy anything, Shrouded Fable, Journey Together, Paradox Rift, even older stuff, Battle Styles, Shining Fates, it's all going up in price. Okay, when I first started doing this and I started investing super heavy into Sun and Moon base set, it was not unusual to go years without seeing a return. And that's when you're buying in at MSRP or below MSRP. That's why it was so crucial. That's why MSRP and getting in at the cheapest price point was so important back then. Because you might only see $10, $20, $30 of growth over a year. And that was things performing well. Nowadays, we're in a completely different market, guys. We really are. Let's start off with Ascended Heroes. I won't talk too long about Ascended Heroes because in my eyes, it's not fully released yet. Okay? In my eyes, we don't see the true data of how the sealed is going to perform until the Elite Trainer boxes are out and at least the booster bundles are out as well. Then we can get a real gauge of what's going on. Because the problem is right now, is you can only pick it up through a few ancillary products. And there's so much scarcity of product. There's so lack of supply. The demand heavily outweighs it. So the prices are all over the place on those like tech sticker boxes. I saw a lot of 10 tech sticker boxes or tech sticker blisters go for crazy money the other day, like $600. So that's 30 packs for like $600. That's absolutely nuts for triple blisters that have just come out. Absolutely crazy. Me personally, I'm not paying too much attention to the prices. I'm looking at the singles a little bit, but we'll get a true gauge and I'll decide how heavy I want to move into Ascended Heroes when the Elite Trainer boxes come out on the 20th of February. And we can see a week or two's worth of data there. How quickly do those Elite Trainer boxes get eaten up? Or how quickly is it a race to the bottom of the market? I'll wait till then to do a full analysis on Ascended Heroes and work out whether I'm going to invest into it. At the moment, we're just seeing crazy pre-order prices on ETBs, which are actually falling as well, but they're still nearly double MSRP. People are paying $140 for a pre-order normal ETB of Ascended Heroes. You wouldn't catch me dead paying that. eBay, similar, $124, $115, $105 for a normal ETB. We don't even know how many of these are going to be coming out. If I had to guess, there won't be enough to go around, but me personally, I'm not even considering investing at all into Ascended Heroes until I can see a few months of what the data looks like with the ETBs and the bundles out. Let's move on then to Phantasmal Flames. Phantasmal Flames is a perfect example of what I was talking about with the changing market and a lot of people just getting it wrong and not reading the market right, thinking that it's going to crash back down to MSRP all of a sudden. And we're seeing the opposite. Okay, price chart is broken on TCG Player this week, but we can still look at prices. Okay, last week it was averaging, let's see, $273 for one of the newest sets on a set that a lot of people wrote off as a bad set. It's a short set. It's got an easy to pull Charizard, and it's right up there at $270 and climbing. Last sold TCG Player 3 sold this morning, $300. And it's not a one-off. Another one here, $294. Okay, one dump for $250. Another 3 went for $285. It's just chunking and chunking and chunking up there in price because the demand is so much higher than anyone expected. Okay, the common misconception in the market was A, it's going to get reprinted into the ground and prices are going to go down. And B, it's not a great set. But it really is. And the demand is so high. Everyone is trying to open it, especially on these rip and ship streams, to try and pull those Charizards. It is an extremely popular set, and it's making those rip and shippers a lot of money. So they're happy to pay these inflated prices. A lot of people are FOMOing into it now as well. I really do think we've got a monster on our hands with Phantasmal Flames. And if it doesn't ever get those big reprints that everyone's just assuming is going to happen, price is going to go galactic over the next couple of years. Last sold, eBay US, $274. Going in the complete opposite direction to MSRP. And I think it's a good indication on where the market is going as a whole and what we can expect for future releases in the ME era. Last sold eBay UK, 214 quid, 220 quid. You could scoop these so easily a few weeks ago for 180, and people wouldn't touch it with a barge belt. I had my choice of boxes at 180. Some people were even dumping them for like 160 when it released. Kind of crazy if you ask me. Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution, I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. I think it's a very, very good sleeper set. It's a very, very good sneaky set that people are going to forget about. And before you know it, a year's passed, 2 years pass, it's out of print, and it's pushing $500 a box. I really do see a situation where that happens. You can get into it for cheaper than almost any other booster box in any era right now as well. Mega Evolution is one of the cheapest boxes right now, right this second, of all of Pokemon sealed booster boxes. And I don't think it deserves that title. Like, I think it's a massive opportunity to move into it while everyone's distracted with Destined Rivals, Prismatic Evolutions, Ascended Heroes. People are already taking pre-orders for Perfect Order before Ascended Heroes is even fully released yet. The attention span in the hobby is so low. Everyone's on to the next thing, onto the next thing, and it's partly due to this change in society. Everything's just instant nowadays, so everyone's looking for the next thing, the next play. Mega Evolution will get forgotten about by the masses over the next few months, and I think now is quite a good time to move in. You can see here that it's regularly selling on TCG Player for 260, 265, 270, 250. But there's just not the demand on eBay. And that demand for buying is only going to get lower as more and more products come out. Okay? Pokemon are churning out sets right now. Look at this. Last sold eBay, secondary market, $225 for an enhanced box. That is an incredibly cheap deal for a Mega Evolution box. Now, I'm not saying that you're always going to be able to scoop one for $225, but this sale was from this morning, guys. There are deals to be had out there if you're paying attention to the boxes that no one else is. And if you're subscribed to a channel like this, because I will start directing you guys to stuff like this when I see it's too cheap to ignore at this price, guys. $225 for a minty sealed Mega Evolution enhanced box. Very good opportunity. And then you're seeing them regularly also go for like $245. That right there, that sale there, is 10%, what, nearly 10%, 9 and a bit percent below what it's regularly selling for, and almost 20% below what they're selling for on TCG Player. Like I said, with some of these sets, guys, that people they're not in the spotlight, you can get massive deals on the secondary market from people dumping them. Last sold eBay UK, 205 quid, non-enhanced. Again, one of the cheaper boxes in the era. Let's then talk about Destined Rivals. I could sit here and make a whole episode about Destined Rivals. I will do it if you want me to. I'll make an episode on another day just about Destined Rivals if you really want. I could talk for hours about Destined Rivals. I could sit here and I could talk to you and say, you know, I called it right from day one. I went against the grain. I could sit here and do that, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to focus from now on about what's happening now with the price. Price is going crazy. Last week, averaging $502, which was already nuts and was already nearly a 30% increase on the previous week. 502 on the averages last week. Last sold, TCG, 550, 578, 550. We're jumping another 10%, guys, on what was already the most expensive box in the era and was already going parabolic in price. The amount of FOMO that's going into this product is nuts. Do I think it's going to slow down? No. I've said over the last few weeks, Destined Rivals is a snowball that is going to get out of control and no one's stopping it at that point. Destined Rivals is easily headed to $2,000 a box. How long it will take to get there? Question mark. Nobody knows. Worst case scenario, I think Destined Rivals hits $2,000 plus a box. So nearly 2x. No, what's that? 2x, 4x? 400%. What it is now. Is that 400%? It's 500 odd? 500. Yeah, 400%, 4x. What it is now, in worst case scenario, 4 years. Okay? 4 years' time, $2,000 a box, in my opinion. Worst case scenario. Best case scenario, 2 years. Maybe less. Destined Rivals is absolutely insane. It's already proving how insane it is. There is so much copium in the market that this is going to get mass reprinted and that it's going to drop down significantly in price. It's already past that point, guys. It's already out of control to the point that if there is mass reprints, it's not going to affect the price that much, because any drop in value now is going to get eaten up and people are going to see it as a bargain and a new opportunity to get into Destined Rivals if they've missed out or if they want to increase their bag. I'm telling you right now, if it's at this price, if it's at $550, $570 and it drops below $500 at any point over the next 2 years, I'm spending every penny I have on it. And there's a lot of people that will be in that same boat as well. For that reason alone, I don't see, even if mass reprints do happen, I don't see it slowing down the snowball for very long at all. It will just get all bought out. It will either get ripped or it will go into private seal collections and then it's gone. And then the price just continues to surge again. Destined Rivals is already one of the fastest growing booster boxes of all time, if not the fastest growing booster box of all time, price-wise, for the amount of time it's been out. It hasn't even had time to run yet, guys. It really hasn't. It's got the hype behind it. It's got the iconography behind it with the Team Rocket and everything as well. It's a perfect storm. You haven't seen anything yet with Destined Rivals. I'm telling you now, even if you buy in at this price point, this 550, and you're willing to sit on it for a couple of years, you will do very well out of it. You will. Last sold, eBay US, 520 with a read description. So probably, let's read it. Why not? I haven't even looked at this. What's the description say? Has it got tear? Has it got damage? Let's have a look, shall we? Okay, 520, best offer accepted. So we don't even know what it sold for. Description, listed under market price due to the packs inside appearing unevenly distributed between the two sides, which can occur from factory packing and shifting during transport. That's a bit sketchy. Yeah, not sure about that, guys. So what? It's bulging on one side and it's not on the other. I don't know. Any kind of like sus stuff like that, I'm not sure about that. And they obviously took a best offer accepted because they were happy to shift it for whatever. That's a weird listing, right? Let's have a look at the rest. Let's look at a real listing. The next sale from yesterday, $1,300 for two. That is crazy. That is absolutely insane. $1,300 for two Destined Rivals boxes. So that's $650 each. And you can say, oh yeah, but you get some acrylic cases. All right, we'll knock off $10 for each case. For a second-hand acrylic case. That's still $640 each. Okay, you might say, oh yeah, but it probably didn't sell for that. If you click on it, it's going to be best offer accepted. It is. Okay. But let's go down. $555. Let's find some more. $590. $560. Guys, Destined Rivals is going insane. All-time highs, knocking on the door of $600 on multiple sales. These are all from yesterday as well. This one, new listing tag. In fact, this $590 didn't even have a best offer on it. $590 sold yesterday. That's an all-time high for Destined Rivals, surely. Yeah, it sold. No best offer. $590, to put things into perspective for you, is more expensive now than Brilliant Stars. That's nuts. That really is. It is the king set. It has easily eclipsed now Paldea Evolved. And I think it's just getting started, guys. I really do. Last sold eBay UK, $460. Every time I check this, it's going up in price. The dilemma I'm in is that I own quite a bit of Destined Rivals, but I want more. And the price keeps going up, and I keep putting off buying more. And this is what I'm talking about with the snowball, guys. People are just going to FOMO more and more into it, and it's going to go crazy. It really is. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if it did. If we see $1,000 Destined Rivals box by Christmas. If we have another good run over this summer of prices going crazy, we could easily see Destined Rivals pushing up over $1,000. Now, I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I'd say it's got a 50-50 chance of doing that if it has a good summer. And if it doesn't do that, it hits $1,000 the next year into 2027. Let's move on. Like I said, I could talk about Destined Rivals all episode. And I know some people would be here for that. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make another special episode on it. But we've got so many sets that I will actually want to break down and do a special episode on. It's just finding the time, guys. If you guys didn't know, I work full-time. This is just a hobby for me. I don't make a lot of money from it. That's not what it's there for. Yeah. We're just doing it for the fun, for the love of the culture. And I love you guys as well. This is my favourite time of the week. To interact with you guys. Not just doing the recording. I mean, I do enjoy doing the recording as well. But it's seeing all your guys' comments afterwards and responding to all of them. It's so fun. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as well, at PokePond1. I do a lot of short form content on there as well. And keep you up to date with like stuff. It's just a lot easier for me to make a little short form content video if something explodes in price in the week, rather than having to wait until Saturday to do like a full analysis on the whole market and everything that's going on. I talk a lot more on Instagram as well about like slabs and singles and stuff as well. And I'm going to do more coming up soon. So subscribe to the Insta if you want to get all of the PokePond that's available, at PokePond1 with a 1 on the end. Right. Prismatic Evolutions then. We're getting a bit sidetracked. We're doing the promo. Prismatic Evolutions. is continuing to climb up in price, kind of chilling around about this 140 range. Last few sales 144, that's up about 3%. Still incredibly cheap to buy into, and it's so close still to where its floor price was. And the Moonbryon, not even the Moonbryon, the Sunbryon in a PSA 10 is doing insane things in price right now as well. So there's no way in my mind that Prismatic doesn't just continue to increase in price over the next year. It's a really good buy. My issue with it a little bit, and that's just a personal thing, it will be an issue for some of you, not everyone, is just space with the ETBs. They take up a lot of space to value ratio for the ETBs. But as the price increases, it doesn't matter as much. Me personally, I own a few ETBs. I own a few of the big Costco bundles as well. I like the booster bundles for these purely just because of space. Yes, the ETB might have slightly more gains over the long term, but for me, the bundles still increase in price massively as well, and they're just so much easier to store. Also as well, from my experience with the booster bundles, I do the same with 151, by the way. With the booster bundles, almost always they're mint, okay? The chances of seals getting damaged or them getting damaged in postage, they're just a more versatile product. I like the bundles. I own a lot of Prismatic bundles. I'd be open to buying more of them as well. I'm not going to have a look at bundle prices right now, but have a look at booster bundle prices in your area as well, be you US or UK, and you'll see something interesting, that prices are a bit all over the place. Okay, the range of selling prices is getting insane. Some of them are going for massively all-time high prices. Some of them are going for deals. So just something to be aware of. You might be able to scoop some deals on some bundles. Right, let's move on then. It's increasing in price slowly, but you're still getting deals on the ETB as well. Look at this. New listing tag bought out straight away this morning. $125. $125 is massively cheap for Prismatic ETBs. That's a good price point to buy in. Even if you buy in at the max, look at this, on an auction from yesterday, 145, 130, 145. Even if you pay top of the market here, 145 at that range, in a couple of months, you won't see one for under $150. I guarantee that. Obviously, I can't guarantee that. They might just print a billion of them again and it drops back down to 120. But I can almost, as a sure thing, guarantee it. I'm like 95% sure come, let's see, May, you'll struggle to see one under $150. And this is what I'm talking about the market changing, guys. That was never a thing where you can almost guarantee that with a set. That in just a couple of months' time, it will be more expensive than the all-time highs right now. The market is changing, and it's very much like any market in the world. Any successful business person will tell you that you need to know your market well, and markets change. Market conditions change, and you either adapt or you die. That's why so many businesses close. In all sectors, okay? Look at your local high street. Look at your local malls. It is littered with businesses that did really well pre-2019, pre-AI, pre-internet sales. A lot of the big boys in any industry get it wrong because they have a formula, they follow it, they don't change it, and the world moves on. That's why these big companies like Amazon are so successful, because they changed the game. They deleted so many of the old people, like the old businesses that were doing so well in malls and high streets and stuff like that, because Amazon will do it to your door, cheaper, through an app. It's crazy, guys. Next day, I'm not saying that the Pokemon market can be compared to Amazon, but what I'm saying is market conditions change. Just because we're used to seeing up and down cycle markets in the Pokemon sealed space doesn't mean that we're in a downturn now after things cooled off a little bit over Christmas. Okay, I do expect the market to continue going up and down, but so many people are misreading it at the moment. I really do think so. And that's why you're seeing me making predictions from months ago on stuff like Phantasmal Flames, on Destined Rivals, and it seems like I'm getting it right and everyone else is getting it wrong. Because I'm just reading the data, I'm reading the market. It's really not complicated, guys. There's so many people out there that just echo what other people are saying. I don't listen to any of that noise. I listen to it because it's handy to hear what they're all talking about. But it's the data, guys. It really is. And if you look at the market and what it's doing right now, it's all going up. Everything is pretty much going up right now. And we're at a golden age of investing. We really are. I think anything you touch now will turn to gold. If you have the patience. You need patience in this. You're not guaranteed to get rich overnight. And that's a poor mindset to have. If you have that mindset, you're going to fail. Because you're going to dump product before it runs, thinking that you picked the wrong thing. Patience in sealed product is one of the most important things. You'll do well if you're patient. Anyway, let's move on. We're going down a tangent here. Journey Together. Journey Together is in a weird spot right now where it looks like it's falling on the average prices. It was at 250, but then you're looking at last sales and it's like 260. I think that's fine for where it should be at right now. Again, we talk about it most weeks. If $240 is a good deal for any set, Journey Together should be in that sort of 260 range. Last sale, eBay US. Look at this. Enhanced box. Not even on a new listing tag. So this sat for a little while, over 24 hours. 240. Buy it now. Free postage. Minty enhanced box. Are people starting to take their eyes off of Journey Together a bit? Like I said, anything 240 is a good deal right now. Any set. To get a nice minty Journey Together box, I think Journey Together should be a little bit more than the floor. So it should be 250, 260. I think that's fair market. You're getting into this for a nice minty box for almost 10% below market. Really good deal, whoever scooped that up. Let's look at some more sales. Look at this, 230? 230 on an auction, even cheaper. 244 non-enhanced, that's not a great deal. But deals to be had out there in the market. I'm not going to dwell too long talking about Journey Together. Last sold eBay UK, 160 damaged. Wouldn't even touch that with a barge pole. What is the point when you can spend an extra 11 quid and get a minty box? It's just not worth it, guys. I will always pay up to 10, 15% over all-time high, over current secondary market price to make sure I've got a minty box. There is no point trying to save yourself 11 quid to get yourself a box unless you're opening it. That's where these damaged boxes come into their own. Okay, then it's worth getting a deal, because if it's only a small tear, then you know it's probably still legit. It's not been tampered with. Big tear or anything that looks a little bit resealed, if you're opening it, I wouldn't go near it personally. Not worth the risk. Surgeon Sparks is actually having a little bit of a run at the moment, which is a little bit surprising to me. A little bit of like restocks and stock seems to have been available over the last few weeks in the US and the UK. Not a huge amount, but I've been seeing some posts that some's been available. Like Surgeon Sparks, if you're going to expect to see any booster box out in the wild or in a vending machine or something like that, Surging's kind of what you would expect to see. So to see it increase in price, I think is quite positive at the moment. Don't get me wrong, I like Surgeon Sparks as a set. I think it's a better than average set. It's not a best in class, but it's a better than average set. And yeah, I think it deserves to be up there at those higher price points, at that 270, 280 sort of range. Just not yet. I think it needs a little bit more time to run. But yeah, increasing up there in price. 255 last week, last sale. Although it's 250, look at this. Sale before 400, that's a bit of price manipulation, but look at this. 275, 273, 260, 273, all from yesterday, 273. Market's at about 270 now for Surgeon. Let's have a look at eBay. eBay, you usually get a little bit of a better deal. Look at this, 244. So it's starting to run away on TCG up to those 270 ranges, but someone got sniped an auction for 244. Let's find another sale. There you go, 256 on an auction from yesterday. New listing, that's the difference between an auction and a buy out. 256, 267 on a buy out now. People are starting to FOMO into Surgeon Sparks, it seems. We'll keep an eye on this one closely over the next couple of weeks. Last sale in the UK, again, creeping up there in price. Buy it now is 194, nearly back up to 200 quid a box. Very interesting. 151 Elite Trainer box, pushing all-time highs, guys. Slowly climbing, but I really like 151 as a set as well. I think 151 is going to continue to perform really well over the next couple of years. I personally see the Sun Charizard in a PSA 10 massively underpriced right now. Even though it's going for a decent amount of money, a decent chunk of change, I think that Sun Charizard is going to be one of the more desirable Charizards of the modern era going forward. You've got to ask yourself, what is that Charizard chase card from 151 going to be worth in 10 years' time? It's very iconic. There's not really any more Charizards like that. It's a very arty, like aesthetically pleasing card as well. I like it. I personally have it in a PSA 9 because when I went to buy it, it looked cheap to me and I couldn't justify buying the 10. So I bought the 9. I wish I'd have bought the 10, but I couldn't afford it at the time. So I've got the 9. I might look at getting the 10. I'm going to London Card Show next week. It's one of those things that, like, I've got money to spend and I'm not adverse to buying some high-end slabs if I can get a good deal. Sun Charizard is one of those cards that I'll be looking out for. If I see it for a good price, I might buy it. There's a few cards like that. Also, the Charizard from Brilliant Stars, that alt art, I'd be looking for that in a 10 if that's for a good price. A few things like that. The Charizard from Paldean Fates as well. Again, I've got in a 9. I'd quite like a 10. I've got some money to spend next weekend. I'll show you guys on Instagram what I end up picking up. We'll see. If there's good deals on sealed, I might buy some sealed. I might buy some old ETBs or something like that. I want to give a massive shout out actually to PokeChloe, because PokeChloe, although I've never met her, I've been watching her and Dean's content for a very long time. I want to shout out to them because I've never been to London Card Show. I'm going to my first London Card Show next weekend, next Saturday I'm going. If you're there, come and say hi. That'd be nice. I'll be there on my own, so come and say hi to me. I'm not vending or anything. I'm just walking around as a customer like you guys. But anyway, I wanted to shout out PokeChloe because I actually really enjoyed watching her previous videos on showing what the card show is all about. And it made me feel a lot better about going there. Check out her videos on there. If you search her channel, you'll see previous videos from London Card Show. What's really cool about it as well is she's showing like all of the slabs and stuff as well. And it is mad, right, when you have a look at the prices of all of those slabs, because it's all the cards that were big like a year ago. If you watch her video from last year, you see stuff like the Lugia from Silver Tempest in a PSA 10 for like 300 quid and stuff like that. It's crazy. And like the whole booth looks cheap. So anything you could have bought back then, slab-wise, of like the big hitter cards, has almost doubled in price because obviously we've had this massive run and hype cycle this year. So shout out to her. Big up. If she's there, I'm going to say hello to her. Um, I'm looking forward to that, actually. I'm looking forward to saying hi to like more people in the community as well, not just anyone who might watch the channel, but the other content creators and stuff as well, because I've never really done any of the big UK events yet. So looking forward to introducing myself to a few of those people and hopefully making some friendships along the way. Right. 151 Elite Trainer Box. We're getting sidetracked again. 428 last week on the averages. 430, 424. Doesn't look like it's going up that much, but it's pushing all-time highs, guys. Look at this, 437. 437, I think, is the highest it's ever gone. And look, there's another sale there from the third. Look, 480. That 480 is crazy. Might be a bit of manipulation there. 474. It's poised, okay? It's in a position where, look at that. Zoom out on the chart there. Right at all-time high. And where's it going to go? They're not going to make any more 151 Elite Trainer boxes. It's going to push up and it's going to become a very expensive Elite Trainer box in the future. I think it's going to easily push $1,000 an Elite Trainer box. But again, just that time horizon. We don't know. We don't know how deep the run is going to be for all of Scarlet and Violet over this next year. I personally think it's going to be a good run for all of them. It's going to be a good year. But to 1,000 a box, more than doubling up in price, that could take a little bit of time. Okay, but I do think it's going there long term. Last sold eBay US. Look at this, 400, 395 on an auction, 355. Like, what was this at 12 months ago? Let's just have a look. 188. And I guarantee back then, 12 months ago, when we were looking at that here on the channel, 188 looked expensive to a lot of people. And I guarantee I was sat here on the channel 12 months ago telling you guys, look, it's knocking on the door of 200. It's at an all-time high. I think it's going to do well, this box, over the next year. And then look, it's gone up 134% over the last year. Could do that again. Last sold, eBay UK, 363. It just looks cheap to me. I know it's a really expensive Elite Trainer box. I'm not saying 363 quid, $400, whatever, is a cheap box by any means. But when you think of a 151 Elite Trainer box, in my eyes, my perceived value, it's just worth a lot more than that, guys. I could easily see that pushing up over $500 real soon. Powder and Fates is exactly the same. Powder and Fates, right up there at all-time highs again. You can see on the chart. Just climbing up slowly, just steadily. Nearly $300. 302 right now. But it's poised. It's at that all-time high. I don't think they're making any more of it. The Bubble Mew is insane. I really like the Charizard in that set as well. I think it's going to have a really good year, guys. I think this is your last chance to get in for under $300. Look, 294, buy it now. 300, buy it now. And look at this. The PC ETB, isn't that more expensive? 410 for the PC? I actually do own one PC ETB. I'm very fortunate enough to own that. Right place, right time. Thank you for my friend that sold that to me. Yeah. An extra 30% for the PC ETB. I can see that gap getting a lot bigger in the future. The price difference between the PC ETB and the normal one. A lot more volatile, though. A lot more risky to get into the PC ETB. Be warned. 363 quid here in the UK. Just seems like every time I check back to Powder and Fates, it's just a little bit more expensive. The way I like to think of Powder and Fates is it's like, do you remember in the old Mario games where you've got the Boo ghosts and when you turn your back, it creeps up behind you? And then you look at it and it's not moving. And then you turn your back and it creeps up behind you. I feel like that's Powder and Fates. When you're not looking at it, the price gets bigger. And when you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, 363. That's an expensive box. And then you look away for another week and it's nearly 400 quid now. That's how I feel about Powder and Fates. It is the Boo Ghost from Mario. Paradox Rift. I'm going to take a pause. Got to be careful what you say about Paradox Rift. It's become a bit of a meme on the channel. I don't hate it. I say every week that I do hate it. I don't hate it. I think it's a little bit overpriced. It's got room to fall, but not much room to fall. Okay, it's nearly at the bottom of the market. It has climbed up in price a little bit this week. 253 last week. Last sale 259, so it's up about 3%. Last sold eBay US. Look at this, you're getting deals though. Look, what did we say about anything sub $240 as a deal? 222 on an auction from yesterday. 204, that's a UK import. That's just like a weird sale with the conversion rate. Ignore that. It is cheaper here in the UK. Here we go. Another UK one, sorry. Here we go, US. 261 on an auction as well. So climbing up there in price a little bit, but you're still getting deals way below market. I don't know. I think 261 isn't a terrible price to move into it if we're putting the floor of the market at 240, 250. It's got room to fall. I could easily see it dropping back short term to 230, 240. Sorry, 240, 250. So it could lose $10, $20 in a worst case scenario on the downside. Best case scenario, it just keeps climbing over time. So your risk reward ratio is actually pretty good on Paradox Rift. It's still pretty cheap. So not a terrible buy, but me personally, for like that 240, 260, something like that, I would much rather move into something like Surging or go super modern and go Phantasmal Flames and just run the risk of the reprint. But again, there's no risk if you've got the patience to then just wait out the reprint dip. The reprint that is not confirmed, by the way. But if there is a reprint dip on Phantasmal, you just wait it out until prices are back up. That's how you really win at this game. When you lose, you just wait until you're winning again. And it is as simple as that. It really is. People say that about the stock market as well. You only lose if you sell at a loss. If you just hold on to it until it recovers again and have the patience to keep your money tied up in it, you basically never lose. Basically never lose. Unless the whole thing just crashes. But I don't see the Pokemon market as a whole crashing and burning anytime soon, guys. I think it's going to keep going for a good long time until maybe I'm going to be sat here like an old man still making these videos. I'm going to have my glasses on and my grey hair, and to be honest, the grey hair might be coming sooner than I think. I'm getting up there in age, you know. Last sold eBay UK 171 quid, 156 with non-mint seal, whatever that means. I presume that's got damage on it. Again, unless you're cracking it, just buy something minty. 167 on a buy it now. It's just super cheap. One of the cheapest boxes in the UK right now. Temporal Forces. Temporal Forces I like a little bit more than Paradox, but I'll admit that it looks a little bit overpriced now at this 270 range. Again, has the potential, last sold 273, 268, has the potential to drop back down to that 240 range. Okay, so, you know, worst case scenario, drops, what, 12%? Something like that, down to 240. Best case scenario, continues to run. I think 270 is a little bit overvalued for it. And you can see here, eBay's usually got the better read on the market on what people are paying on last solds. 250. I think 250 is more than fair when we're putting the floor at 240, 250. One bid, someone scooped that, fair play. 275 on a buy it now. Like I said, little bit too expensive. I think, nice minty box there. I think that you could time that if you're not like FOMOing in and being like, I want to buy it right now. I think if you're patient, you can scoop that up a little bit cheaper than 275 if you just keep an eye on the market. You'll get someone dumping it for like 250, something like that, if you really aren't in a rush to buy it. Last sold eBay UK 190. Again, for that kind of price point, I'd rather scoop a Surging Sparks for like 10-20 quid more. But that's just me. It is creeping up there in price slowly. Paldea Evolved. Paldea Evolved, I think people are in a very dangerous situation where they're going to underestimate Paldea Evolved, as a lot of the focus is going away from it and into stuff like Destined Rivals and some of the new sets that are coming out. People need to remember how strong Paldea Evolved is as a set and how popular it is. It's going out of print soon. It is the second most expensive booster box in the era. And we always say with sealed product, look at the best 5 sets of the era. Paldea Evolved is well in that top 5, if not top 2. Paldea Evolved falling in price right now. That leads to opportunities. I personally think it's going to continue to drop down in price in the short term as people just kind of forget about it a little bit. Don't underestimate Paldea Evolved. Really don't. The chart's broken on TCG, but we can have a look at the sales data here. Last sold 410. Right up there near all-time highs. All-time highs is like 430, 440. Last week, 411. So it's dropped down, what, like $1, 0.25%, something like that. But it's kind of just chilling at that $400 range. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on Paldea Evolved. And I think it's going to quickly become a seller's market. As it goes out of print, as the weeks go on, there's just going to be less and less of these for sale. And I think that that is going to help it increase in price. If we look at the best-in-class sets from Sword and Shield, you know, you've obviously got your Evolving Skies, which is doing crazy things. You've got Lost Origin, Fusion Strike at 1,000, Lost Origin at $700. I think Paldea Evolved is going to go up into that range, given enough time to run. It's going to easily push over $700. And if you're buying in now at like 410, maybe a little bit under 400 if you get lucky, then it almost guaranteed going up to $700 plus, maybe even 1,000 a box. It's not like you're taking a big gamble on like a risky set that not a lot of people like. This is a best-in-class set for Scarlet and Violet. Do not forget that. Do not underestimate it. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. Last sold eBay US. Still selling decently. On an auction, $425. Another one here for $420. $420. I could see a situation, though, short-term, where some of these get dumped below $400. Keep an eye on the market, guys. Sometimes it's about looking at stuff that people aren't looking at. Last sale eBay UK, $355. $317. It's looking pretty cheap to me. Twilight Masquerade. We said it was looking pretty cheap. I don't know why I'm zoomed out to the year chart. There we go. 3-month chart as usual. Kind of going back up there in price. Oh, I know why. I was looking at the all-time high. The all-time high is 321. Last sale, 325. 350. It's jumped up there in price over the last week. Average price charts, it's gone from 308 to 325. With another sale at 350. That's not insignificant, and that is pushing all new all-time highs. I said it looked a little bit cheap when it was under $300. People love to talk about new sets that come out, stuff like Phantasmal Flames. I was going to say Paldean Flames then. Sets getting mixed up in my head. Phantasmal Flames, people are like, oh yeah, you can't carry a set with one good chase card. Look at Twilight Masquerade. And I think Twilight Masquerade is pretty underpriced. The Greninja is still really expensive, and expensive in a PSA 10 as well. Last sale, eBay US, $320. Creeping up there in price. Again, each and every week, we're going to keep an eye on all of this for you. Look at these. 2 blisters going for $20, nearly. $10 a pack. Interesting. Keep an eye on it. Last sale, eBay UK, $252. That looks really cheap to me, guys. $252 for a sealed Twilight when Phantasmal's going for like $240. Is it going for $240? No, it was $240, wasn't it? But still, not that far off in price. Twilight goes out of print fairly soon as well. Keep an eye on Twilight. There's some deals to be had. Obsidian Flames. We don't talk about Obsidian Flames all the time. It's not the most popular set. I don't know why. I personally like Obsidian Flames. I like the chase cards on it. It's slowly creeping up in price. We said with Twilight, it was kind of undervalued at this $300 range. I think that Obsidian's undervalued at this $300 range. We've seen it sell for up to 10% more towards the end of last year. I think it'll climb back up to that range soon. And look, last sales, $324. So it's up about 8% over the last week. Obsidian Flames, another one of those sleeper sets that no one's really looking at and will be going out of print real soon. $296 last sold on an auction, eBay US. That looks really, really cheap to me. $255 last sold, buy it now, UK. Again, really, really cheap. Look at this. You can buy a Trip Blister for 21 quid. That's actually... oh, import from Germany. Never mind. Interesting, though. Stellar Crown. Not going to talk about Stellar Crown for too long, but I just think that it leads into this narrative again. It's a little bit off of its all-time high. 282 all-time high. Last sold, 265, 280. It's climbing back up to its all-time high. Bit of a sleeper set as well. I don't think they're going to make any more of it. Looks cheap for under $300. A lot of these Scarlet and Violet sets, I think, pretty soon are going to look cheap under $300. I like Stellar Crown. It's not a get-rich overnight set, but I see value in it long term. I see it going to $500 a box over the next couple of years. If you've got space to put stuff away, I think it's a pretty safe bet to buy in sub $300 onto Stellar and sell it for $500 in a couple of years' time. Not a bad play. Those are kind of the kind of plays that I like making to diversify, but it's not like I'm going to buy a whole case of them or 6 of them or 7 of them. I might just buy 1 box or 2 boxes. I like it. And it's got the potential to run because there's not going to be a huge amount of people selling these in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 4 years' time. The power will be with the sellers, and that can make the price go a little bit volatile. Okay? Let's move on then to the Sword and Shield era. The king of the jungle himself, Mr. Evolving Skies. You can see the average price chart is slowly sort of regaining back to all-time highs. We can see that there has been 3 sales on TCG Player over the last week. In fact, 3 sales, 4 boxes, and all of them are over $2,600. Very, very positive to see. eBay's a little bit cheaper right now, but still multiple sales around this $2,500 mark. Strong to see. Let's find some more. Lots of these ETBs selling for... look at this box damage. $490 for the ETB. That's mad. They're usually going for about $400. There you go. $400 for the ETB. Those have gone up a lot this year. That's a UK weird conversion. Let's find a US to US. Here we go. Another one. $2,350. That actually looks a little bit cheap. I think market now is around that range, $2,400, $2,500. To see multiple sales on TCG for $2,600 is strong. A lot of the Sword and Shield boxes, they look stagnant, but they're right up there at all-time highs and having multiple sales over multiple weeks and months. Really strong. Sword and Shield has not stopped. I promise you that. Sword and Shield will have another big run, and these boxes, the best in class, your Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Silver Tempest, will all increase largely in price over the next couple of years. When is the run exactly going to happen? When is pin down the exact month, PokePond, that Evolving Skies starts jumping 20-30% again? Oh, I'm sorry. I can read the data and I can make estimates, but I don't have a crystal ball, despite what some people might think. They will have a good run over the next couple of years. They're poised in a very, very good, strong position. They're very value dense for booster boxes as well. whilst also being quite liquid because they're not at those crazy prices of like the team up. If you're trying to sell a team up for 10, 12K, there's not that many buyers. There's not that many buyers that have that kind of bankroll to roll into it. It's also very risky if you send that on eBay, trying to sell that through the post. I personally wouldn't want to. I would much rather sell it at a show or to like an LCS and take 80% on it. Anyway, Evolving Skies though, the barrier to entry is not actually that high in the grand scheme of things. For quite a value-dense product, it's not a huge amount of money. I think that, yeah, Sword and Shield is going to have a good run over the next couple of years. Last sold eBay UK, 2,400 quid, right up there at all-time highs. Very close to them. Very positive to see. That's from yesterday on a buyout. Buy it now as well. You can see the guy's got multiple boxes as well. So that sometimes helps make it seem a little bit more legit if you can see multiple boxes in the photo. However, just want to point out, not that it's essential to do, but no like watermark. His name is not in that photo at all. That could be a photo from anywhere. Just saying. I'm not saying it is, but it's something to bear in mind. Okay. Once you start getting up into this range of buying and selling boxes over sort of $2,000, $3,000, stuff like that. Me personally, if I'm selling something like that, I'm going to put a little piece of paper with my name on it. Just to help give that. It will help it sell. I promise you that. But it's not the be all end all. Okay, this looks pretty legit. Before I even make a purchase like this, if I'm spending this kind of money on eBay, I'm not just buying it now. I'm talking to the person first in messages. I'm double checking there's no rips or tears or damages or anything like that. Be warned, if I do find that on delivery, I'm returning it to you. I'm making the terms clear, very clear before I buy it. That looks like a nice minty box today. I'm sure the guy's completely legit. It looks like he's got multiple of them. Just giving some perspective on what I would do if I was buying it or selling it. Let's move on then. Fusion Strike. Not much to say about Fusion Strike. Chilling at $1,000. Multiple sales at $1,000 over the last couple of weeks, basically. I think it's a fair price for it. Last sold as well, $1,000. It's poised, guys. Again, with a lot of these Sword and Shield boxes, it doesn't look like they're moving right now, but they're in a great position that once they run, and they will run, they're just going to keep chunking up there in price. Great investments. Definitely one of the best in class. Last sold eBay UK 741. No huge change in value over the last week. Same with Lost Origin. Exactly the same. No huge change in value. 724 at the moment. It's been around about that $700 range. Within a couple of percent. It's slowly climbing. Yeah. Last sold eBay US auction, $700. I think that's very fair for it. I think, to be honest, that is what market is, but I think market's undervalued for what Lost Origin is. Easily see it as $1,000 box over this next year. Good opportunity to buy in if you've got that kind of money. Pretty safe investment in my opinion as well. Last sold eBay UK, $700. 700 quid. So a little bit more expensive here in the UK. Brilliant Stars, right up there at all-time highs, knocking on the door of $600. Last sold, averages last week, $573. Last sold, $595. Another one, $575. So technically up, what? 70, 80, 90, up like $20, which is about 4%, 4.5% over the last week, but it's up there at all-time highs. And like we said, guys, $595, $575, that's what a Destined Rivals box is going for now. Now, what does that tell you about Destined Rivals? I'll let you fill in the blanks, sir. Last sold. Brilliant Stars, eBay US, $550. I think anything sub, anything sub Brilliant Stars. Anything sub $600 for Brilliant Stars, I think is a good deal as long as you're patient. Like I said, put that away a year or two. I think you easily make a couple $100. Good set. I think the Charizard Alt Art is massively underpriced as well. If I see one for a good price for sale next weekend, I'm going to buy one. Brilliant Stars Booster Box UK last sold 480. Again, anything sub 500, I don't think you lose in the long term. Just be prepared to hold it for a little while, because Sword and Shield's not really moving when you look at the macro, like when you look by the week by week. But when you zoom out and when you see the potential of what these sets are going to do over the next couple of years, it's a no-brainer to buy into this kind of stuff for this kind of price. Silver Tempest, looks like the chart's broken again, but we can look at prices. Last week it was 459. This week 466, up like 1%, something like that. Again, just chilling, but look at it compared to its all-time high. All-time high 590. 490. Last sale 466. So close to its all-time high. Okay, very, very close and in a good position. Last sold 460 US, last sold UK 400. Another one going for 450. So look at that. It's more than 10% off on that auction. No one else bid as well. One bid got it. Crazy. Crown Zenith, pretty much holding at all-time highs at around about this 250 range. We always say Crown Zenith is one of the safest slow compounding investments. When you actually look at eBay though, you're getting deals. Look at this, 215, 250, 209 on an auction. 209 is stupid cheap. I mean, I haven't looked to see if there's damage on that one or not. But yeah, you're seeing it go right up there. That's all-time high, 250. I predict another good year for Crown Zenith of slow, steady gains. You know, couple of dollars a week, but consistently. And by the end of next year, it could be, I don't know, 350, maybe even pushing 400 by Christmas next year if it has a good year. We'll see. Last sale, eBay UK. A torn one for 176. A normal one on an auction for 230 plus postage. That's one of the most expensive I've seen in the UK. And then auctions going for like 215. It's one of those, guys. It's a buy it. It's very safe. Buy it, put it away for a couple of years. You'll do well. That is the whole episode for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I realized that I haven't prepared what we usually do, a little palette cleanser at the end where we have a look at some of the stuff that's selling, something that's interesting. So we will do it live for you. This is how I do it. We do eBay US. We just search for a Pokemon. And we do condition new, because then you usually get the sealed stuff. And we go to sold and we see what has been selling. And we try and pick out something interesting to have a look at. What is that? First thing, Pokemon Battle e-card. So the e-reader series from Pokemon, which is more sort of from the mid-era. A lot of the cards, you could use that with like an e-reader attachment, I believe, for the Game Boy. And you can actually swipe the card like a credit card of a lot of the cards. And then you have these weird, like, I've not seen this before, like a battle card. So I presume, yeah, you would put this into your Game Boy as well. And I don't know if is this just the card, or is it like, has it got an E-series Pokemon maybe in it as well, like an e-reader Pokemon? I don't know. I've never seen this product before. Just sold for $150. Really interesting. If you guys know anything about this in the comments, please let me know down below. I'd love to learn. I personally wasn't collecting during this like e-reader card series of Pokemon. This is more sort of mid-era of Pokemon before what I classify as the ultra modern era. Yeah, there you go, Game Boy Advance. So, and it's got Ruby version, Sapphire version. What is this battle card? Please let me know down below. Not often we see a sealed product pop up as the first item that we've never seen before. Very cool though, definitely a collector's piece. I wonder how rare this is. Very cool. there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Please subscribe to the Instagram as well, at PokePond1. Please like the video. If you do nothing else, just like the video. Really helps me out, really pushes my content out there further. And for those who want to support, there is obviously the super thanks where you can donate, or I do a monthly join subscription all through YouTube, all above board. On my homepage, just click the join button. You may have to log in using a computer or an iPad. Sometimes the join button doesn't show up on the phone. That is a small monthly fee that you can either use to just support the channel, to show your support. You can cancel at any time, or you also get a few benefits as well. I will do some personal one-on-one advice with you and answer any questions on Instagram. The people who get the most out of that service are the people who plan to buy a lot of sealed products. I can help guide you into buying some better deals and save you some money. So hope you guys all enjoyed. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and peace.